Alright guys, so now this is page 5, and we are going to continue with that method of substitution that we did on pages 3 and 4. Okay, so it's still substitution. We still have this thing called a system, which is two different equations that we're solving. Our answer is still going to be x comma y, okay? And you're going to start it off the same way. So you're going to still start it off with drawing your line. Same idea here. So then copying your equation. That first one can just go on the left. Make sure you're copying correctly. The second one can go over on the right. Okay, so now it's going to be a little different because not each equation is going to be in the same format as last time. So if you remember last time, they were both like this, y equals and then something else. But notice this one on the left doesn't have the y equals something else. It's got negative x plus y. The x and the y are on the same side. So that's a little different. So what I really want you to look for is this y equals by itself. So look for the one that has the y equals by itself and start with that one. It might be the first equation, it might be the second equation, but that's always the one that you're going to start with. Whoops, sorry about that. So you're always going to start with the one that has the y equals. Okay, so as soon as I have that y equals now, I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. I'm going to take everything to the right of it, and I'm going to substitute that in wherever y is. Now remember, since it's equal to y, you have to substitute it in for y. Okay, so when I substitute it in for y, then I'm going to take this equation on the left and I'm just going to rewrite it now. But instead of that y, I'm going to put what I substituted in. So in this case, it was 3x plus 2. So I'm just replacing y with that whole expression. This is why we did that worksheet last week, evaluating expressions with expressions. So that's where that's going through, where you're just going to plug it in and replace it with that expression. Okay, so now I'm going to solve this equation. I'm going to combine two like terms. Negative x plus 3, so that's like a negative 1 plus 3. That gives me 2x. Bring everything else down and move stuff around. And then just divide, and you get x equals 5. And now this last part is the same. You're still going to take that 5 and plug it back into the other one, 4x. So I'm going to have here y equals, the 3 is still there. Instead of x, you're plugging in the 5, then plus 2. 3 times 5 is 15, and you get 17. And so then remember my final answer, though, I have to write it as x comma y. So it'll be 5 comma 17. Okay, so it's the same process. Everything you're going to be doing is pretty much the same, except one of the equations, you have to know which equation to start with. So you always want to remember to start with that equation that has the y equals. So look for that equation that has y equals and start with that one. Let's try another one. Okay, so same thing. Right away, look for the equation that has y by itself or y equals. You'll notice it's this first equation. It's just y equals. So when we go to draw our t-chart, copy your equations. Okay. Start with the one that has y equals. Okay, so that's what I'm going to start with because I've got the y equals by itself. And I'm going to replace that over here. Now, which variable do I replace it for x or for y? Always for whatever it's equal to. And since it's equal to y, you're going to replace it for y. Okay, and then over here I have 7x minus 5, so I'm replacing it. Now remember, every time we do substitution, you guys know you got to put parentheses. And this whole expression, negative 4x plus 18, had to be replaced in those parentheses for y equals 18. And now I'm just going to go through my process here. Since I have parentheses, I have to distribute, and just be really careful. It's a negative 5, so you have to distribute the negative 5. Negative times a negative is positive. Negative 5 times 18. I need my calculator here. Hold on a sec. is 90, negative 90 equals 18. I'm going to combine like terms. Then I've got to bring over the 90. And again, you guys can pause this video, solve this by yourself, and then go back and double check your work and see if you got it right. 108 divided by 27 gives me 4. Okay, so now once I have x, I can take it and I can substitute it back in. Again, this is why it's called substitution, because we keep doing all this subbing in. And it's equal for x, so I sub it in for x. So now I'll have y equals negative 4 times 4 plus 18. Okay, and again, use your calculators and work this out. So y equals 2. Final answer, don't forget, we got to write it as an ordered pair. X comma y. X goes first, y goes second. Answer is 4 comma 2. Okay, so you're going to go ahead now. That was page 5. So now you're going to try on your own pages 6 and 7. There's lots of practice for this one. Pages 6 and 7, and then after you check your answers, submit it on Schoology.